What's up, lads and ladettes? How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. So, today we're going to be starting off sort of a basic guide to the planets that are in Entropia universe, and we're going to be starting off with Toulan. Now, you might be wondering, Scott, why are we starting off with Toulan? Well, a nice chap who has also been a long time subscriber, long time viewer, by the name of Beach Ball Triple B Belly. He gave me some in-game stuff, some PED, some weapons and all that sort of stuff for me to do a video on Toulan. And I figured since I'm doing the guide anyway, might as well start off with Toulan. So, what is the interesting thing about Toulan? What gets people to Toulan? And in my opinion, I think it is mainly the lore of Toulan, okay? So when it comes to the lore of Toulan, essentially, there was a war like 600 years beforehand, and there's a lot of old civilization fragments and things like that. There's a lot of old temples, a lot of old broken, rundown areas, and a lot of stuff. There's some remnants of the ancient peoples before, I'm guessing, the colonizers from like Calypso or wherever came to the place, right? And one of my favorite things is Bonnie EU, right? She did a full thing on the Planet Calypso forum talking about Planet Toulan, and here is a little snippet. Okay, it was 600 years ago that an apocalyptic war caused the greed of the two races, and fueled by the fight to control Nawa, the planet's life force, destroyed the majestic splendor of the land. The old bazaars that once held vast riches of spice, gold, and silk and sword were turned into rubble, as was the old city of Sabad and most of the continent's societies. That's cool. Whenever there is lore, it always interests me. So there is a deep amount of lore when it comes to Toulan in general. Just Toulan in general, there is a vast amount of deep lore. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. We're here to talk about why exactly do you want to come to Toulan? Or when you come to Toulan, why would you want to stick around? First, we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do for free, which is pretty straightforward. Then we're going to talk about some of the stuff you can do once you're, either deposited a little bit of money or you've made a little bit of money doing some of the free-to-play aspect stuff. And then finally, we'll talk about the stuff that you can do once you're like either well set off or you're depositing like a substantial amount of cash into the game. And first we're going to start off with the free-to-play aspects, but we need to talk about the various areas to do with Toulan first, just to get the rough idea. So, where I am right now is the Guardian Village, okay? This is pretty much the main hub area. This is where you're going to see a lot of people sort of hanging around, chilling. And this is where you're going to be, well, you can get it from many other places, but this is probably going to be the main spot you're going to end up coming to get your daily missions and then doing your daily missions and all that sort of stuff, okay? Another spot is the Nawa City, which is just up here. And you know what, we're going to actually go there. I'm going to show you why Nawa City is important, not just for the lore aspect, but also for the player aspect. This is Naha City, okay? And in Naha City is where you're going to be doing a lot of your initial missions, such as the missions to get the Nawa Core Mark 1, which you'll need to actually do your daily missions initially. Basically, you'll get a mission to turn in either 10,000 sweat or to hunt 100 tabs, whatever you prefer to do. It's a bit laggy here. Whatever one you prefer to do. And once you've done that, you're able to then get this item here. One second, is it in this one? Miscellaneous, yeah. You'll get this, and that will basically unlock a bunch of the missions. You do need to upgrade this in order to unlock even more missions, but it's a good starting point. Now, we are on floor 6. Now, when I first got here, I thought we were on floor 0, so I was confused as why it wouldn't take me to floor 6. But I was already on floor 6. So here's the stuff, right? So you've got the ground floor, then you have apartment buildings from 1 to 5, and then you have shops on floor 6 to 7 and floor 8, right, is the roof terraces and all that sort of stuff. But you might be thinking, oh, you know, but I'm going to have to bring a bunch of stuff and I'll have to travel back and forth between here and Calypso. That is not so, and I'll demonstrate with just this shop here. There is another shop on like one level above, but for the sake of time and pacing, I'm just going to show you this one. This shop, look, our matrix weapons, amps, weapon damage enhancers, all that stuff. So if we come into here, we can see right off the bat, look, a lot of weapons. You got some LBs, you got some LRs, right? You got some pistols and things like that. So you do have some stuff hanging around, some LPs. You have the short blades, and you have a bunch of stuff all throughout here. Okay? And you got some boxes and all that sort of stuff. So, the initial thing, which hinders a lot of people from traveling off of like Calypso, is, you know, but I'm gonna have to travel back anyway to pick up weapons. So, what's the point in traveling off Calypso? Well, you can get weapons here. It's not an issue. It's a non-issue, really. It's a non-issue. So, yeah, just so you're aware, you can easily purchase weapons from the various shops that are on Toulan. So don't be afraid to come here due to something like that. And the last place we're going to be going is the Citadel, which is if you're flying to Toulan, the Citadel will be the first place that you stumble across. This here is the Citadel. Now you might be wondering what's good about the Citadel. One, it's loaded with things like tabs, low-level Quafas, low-level Sunjocks, and all that good shit. But you've also got people like this, okay? So let's have a chat to this person here. They're going to give you a mini daily mining quest. Let's pick this up and see what it's all about. May not be done simultaneously. That is completely fine. Open to do a small. Sure. So it's pretty straightforward, okay? So they'll want you to get like 50 points would be a good target, and there's nothing specific, but these are the things that they want you to get. Pretty easy, yeah? Pretty simple. So you just need to find deposits that are, you know, worth 50 points, and like in total, and that's it. So you can get your little mining dailies done. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, really. So it's quite good. And the good thing is, if you want to do crafting on Toulan as well, there are daily crafting missions. There are very, very easily done crafting weapons, and it's just it's a good planet to be on. But we're gonna start off now that we've shown you, you know, a couple of the places, some shops, the 3 main places that I think you should have. And it's funny how it's in a triangle: the Citadel, the city, and the Guardian Village. I'm gonna show you just some of the free stuff, and then some of the, you know, slightly higher free stuff. Now, I will be blending the free-to-play stuff and the small deposit form stuff sort of together to make it a little bit more concise. And then I'll show you something which is my favorite part of Toulan, which I think is something that a lot of players should do for a multitude of reasons. But one of the reasons is in order to get a shop or an apartment if you grind at it hard enough. Now, on Toulan, just before we get into the rest of the video, just so you can understand sort of how it works, on Toulan, you can loot things called pages. Alright, you can loot these pages, but you can also buy these pages with Miracell tokens. Okay, so you can buy these with Miracell tokens, and like maybe this Book of Life, this can be exchanged for a D to Naha Tower Apartment B. Yeah. So this can be exchanged for stuff. Now, this one here, I think this can be exchanged for, yep, you can exchange for for apartments. I'm assuming the more you go up, the more interesting the towers actually are. or not the towers, but the stuff actually are, the apartments. This one can give you a booth, so if you wanted to save up and get a booth, this is like 300,000 as opposed to like the 60,000, as opposed to the 40,000 and the like. You can go all the way up to, you know, 1.6 million, and this gives you a shop. So the thing that I'm going to show you at the end is very important for this specific thing, if you want to grind at it to get one of those things. Okay, but first I'm going to show you a couple of things: the swanting, the sweating, the swanting. I'm not going to go over fruit finding, like fruit walking or anything like that, because I'm going to link you to a video made by Entropia. Okay, because he goes over fruit finding and fruit walking and things like that, or just gathering stuff in general. He goes over Toulan very well. I'm not 100% sure if things like the Mamnoon still drop on Toulan. I haven't found any, but if any of you guys have found Mamnoon so far, then feel free to put down in the comments that, hey, yeah, I found Mamnoon, it's still there, and all of that good shit. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate my favorite thing to do, which is swanting. It's swanting, and the swanting here on Toulan is not only dead simple, but it's also relatively profitable due to another aspect of it. Now, once you have your Mark 1, once you have your Nawa Core Mark 1, you've done your hunting 100 tabs, or if you're free to play, gotten your 10,000 bottles of sweat, you're going to have access to certain missions here, and the missions that I have access to are these ones here, okay? Now, you can see that one of them has, I have a tab, but then I have a tab CUHOF. We'll talk about that one later on, but here is the really cool thing about these missions. If we have a look at the reward, it increases, like for mock hats and Daha, it increases your handgun, okay? And these aren't that difficult to do. Things like the Thra increases your laser weaponry technology. The Sunjox, 22 PEC in BLP. Kaboria increases your aim. Bahari increases perception, which is very cool, very cool. So these missions, I'm not 100% certain on the CUHOF mission, but these other missions that you get from the mission terminal, they actually cycle every hour or two. I'm fairly certain it's every hour, okay? And it doesn't require a lot by way of things you actually need to do. Let's take the Daha and the Mock Hat, for instance. The Dahas and the Mock Hats have 13, these ones here have 13 HP each, right? So if you wanted to swant these guys, you would get 13 bottles of sweat out of these guys. Now, what you can do, and this is something that I will explain afterwards, but what you can do is you can either sell the sweat, or you can use the sweat to turn the sweat plus Nawa fragments, you know, getting the raw materials. You can turn it into something called the Nawa energy cell, which is what you need for the instances. So, one of the good things about sweating here is there is a turret right there. So if you didn't want to kill them, you can just drag it back to the turret, right? But since I do have a daily mission, I will shoot this one dead. It's not fully drained of sweat, but I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. But as you can see, you can get some decent stuff, like this leather extractor has a decent markup, a really fucking good markup, okay? Like a real good markup. So, hunting and swanting here, specifically swanting, is very profitable. It's very profitable. You know, I won't mince my words. I think that it's very profitable, swanting the mock hats and the Dahas, because not only do you get a combined total of 13 PEC in handgun skill every hour, but you also get your sweat, you get the various items and things like that. So when it comes to the free-to-play and low like the low deposit style stuff, it comes under the same heading for me, right? It comes under the heading of sweating and swanting, and this guy died. Poor fella, poor fella. But it all comes under the same heading, okay? Now, Belly did want me to mention that if you are a part of his society, which is... Come on. If you are a part of his society, which is P-Tech Industrial, or if you join his society, P-Tech Industrial, he will buy the 600 bottles of sweat that you can get from swanting and doing the mock hat daily. He will buy that off of you. Now, he said that he would only do it daily, so he might only buy 600 bottles of sweat. But, you know, he's more than happy to do that. So there's a little bit of a bonus for some of you that are sweating or swanting. But I'm going to move on to what I find to be the most coolest part of just this Toulan in general, and that is the instance missions and some of the rewards that you can get from it. But we're going to get over to the area first, and then I'll demonstrate. So, this is the area that you want to come to, okay? So it's just down here. And there's actually a lot of small sunjocks down here as well. So if you want to do your sunjock daily while running some instances, this is a good one to do it in. Okay, this is a good area to do it in. Now we want to come down here to where this cave is, because that cave is the entrance to the CUHOF instances and all that sort of stuff. And this is also another good spot where I'll be able to demonstrate the fact that you need to upgrade your Nawa core. You need to upgrade your Nawa core in order to get the certain missions, okay? And I'll be able to demonstrate that once we're in now. I'm just going to be throwing on some armor, because I will be running an instance for you guys. I won't run through the entire thing because it's straightforward, but I will show you the beginning, how to get into it, and I'll show you the end. And yeah, all things are nice. So, if we come over to here, this person, Yasmin, has a magic carpet quest, okay? So you need to have all of this stuff, right? So the ancient carpet fragment red, like 1,100, green, blue, Tatfu tincture, and 100 of the Mirsal tokens. Now remember, the Mirsal tokens you need for to buy the pages as well. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, right? But this will give you a magic carpet, which is really cool. So you know that's another one you can do. But if we have a look at the this daily here, right? I had a quaffas. So let's hunt some quaffas. Fantastic. So I'll be able to hunt these quaffas. But let's say I wanted to do the mock hat. It'll come up with, I'm afraid you require a Nawa Core Mark II to be able to accept that task. So, in order to upgrade my Mark I to a Mark II, I need to acquire 5 Mark II components, okay? And it's the same for the Mark III and all that sort of stuff. So, I need these things. But, alright, but, I can get those things by going through these places over here. Now, in order to get into there, you require these things, Nawa energy cells. And the amount of Nawa energy cells you need per thing corresponds to the number of the number on the instance. So this is 5, so you would need 5. You would need 4 for this one, then 3, then 2, then 1. And you might be wondering, Scott, but what do I need for what do I actually need in order to how do I get one of these? Now, you can buy them, or you can make them with 100 bottles of sweat, which I don't have at the moment, and this thing, Nawa shard. Now, in order to make Nawa shards, you need 2 Nawa fragments, and you refine them down into a Nawa shard. And then you can put a Nawa shard and 100 bottles of sweat into your refiner, and it will come out with one of these. You can get Nawa, you can get the Nawa fragments for free by going to the temple that is just down here. Okay. You can get the temple. You can get the Nawa shards from the temple down here. You go up this way. There are a shitload of mobs here, so I recommend flying. This is a PvP area, but you come down here, you go inside, you go up the stairs, and then around a fountain will be a bunch of these bat demon-looking things called kafas. But you can run around that fountain, find a couple of fragments, and then die, and then spawn back up here, and then just go up to the Guardian village there. It's rather simple. It is rather simple, so it's nothing to worry about. So, you know, you should be fine. You should be able to figure it out. You are clever kids. You are clever cookies. So first we're going to convert this stuff, and we're going to just put this shit in here, and we are going to get one singular Nawa cell, because we are just going to be doing the one. Now, there is a very good info thing for how these instances work, which I will put into the description, and I'm also going to be putting a link to a video about wood cutting that Belly wanted me to put in the description, so that's going to be on there as well. And I just want to make sure that you guys are 100% clear on this. This is just a basic guide to some of the stuff on Toulan, okay? Just some of the stuff. There is so much in depth to this planet that I could be here for hours talking about the lore, the shit that you can find, the various mobs that you can hunt, my favorite areas to do fruit walking and fruit finding. There's a lot of different shit to do with this planet, okay? There's a lot of wave spawners to talk about as well, so there would be a massive discussion. But I can talk about all that stuff in a live stream over on Twitch. For those of you that don't know, I am going to be live streaming on Twitch pretty much exclusively. I will do 1 or 2 a week here on YouTube if I have the time, but for the most part, it's going to be on Twitch, and then I'm just going to be uploading my videos to YouTube, and I'll be uploading the Twitch live streams to YouTube as well. And I'll specifically say that it was a previous live stream, and I'll give the date and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so these are a little bit interesting, right? So you can do these solo, but if you go up to the Nawa solo, it says you must be in a team to enter. Why they haven't fixed this, I have no idea, but you need to be in a team to enter the solo dungeon. Pretty smart. Now, this specific one costs about 60 PED to do. 60 to 65 PED to actually finish. So, it's not overly costly, and you will get most, if not more than that, back in loot at the end. Now, the mobs in here, they will come up with a loot saying, you know, this creature did not contain any loot. It's because all of the loot consolidates, like all of the cost to do the mission consolidates. Now, when you're in here, you want to leave the team. So once you're in, you want to leave the team because it is technically a solo dungeon. It's really fucking weird. It's really weird. So, I'll just demonstrate, you know, killing one and then showing you that it comes up with the whole, this creature did not contain loot. It is not a bug. All of the loot is consolidated for, like, all the TT cost is consolidated for the loot at the end, because there are certain things that you loot from the chests and not the mobs, okay? So I'm using an LR35. It is overkill. You can do this entire dungeon with like a TT weapon if you want. It just takes longer. So it comes up with creature did not carry any loot. It's not a glitch. You'll get all your stuff at the end. Now at the end of this dungeon, which I'll go through the whole dungeon, we'll kill the boss, and I'll show that on screen, and then we'll go through and we'll open up the loot boxes just to demonstrate. And just as a side note, only these mobs will go towards the CUHOF daily, okay? So only these mobs will go towards the ones that say CUHOF, okay? So I need to kill 100 of these guys, which will, you know, be about three or four goes around. But anyway, you clear out a room, and then you move on to the next room, and then the final room will have a golden door. Now, I've made it to the end of the instances. As you can see, there is a little bit of a boss time. You know, the boss will appear in X amount of seconds. I'm guessing that's for, you know, people that want to heal or people that want to switch over their weapons and all that sort of stuff. But for me, it's not really an issue because, you know, Ghost plus LR35 in level 1 instance equals everything dead without me having a scratch on me. So, the boss itself is pretty... Well, it's pretty simple. It is scaled to the instance itself, so, you know, the boss is about twice as strong as everything else. So it does scale, which is a very good thing. Now, once we have killed the boss, we go into this room, and we will collect our goodies, okay? And you'll see why I like the instance. Not only for the loot boxes themselves, because I find it very cool to get my treasure at the end of a dungeon. It's just something, I don't know, it just sends off some chemical things in my brain, you know, those happy chemical signals in my brain. But we're going to go over to this one. Anything good? We got some tokens, actually a decent amount of tokens for this level. So we got about 13 PED from that. We got about nearly 20 PED from that, including some fragments, which is very good because they're a little bit more rarer to find. This last one, we got about 13, nearly 14, but it's the mirror cell tokens that we're after, okay? It's the mirror cell tokens that we are after. So once you finish, it will give you like a little bit of a thing, like, you know, tell you how much time you spend, the container's open, and the creature's killed. So if you wanted to, you could challenge yourself to do this quicker, if you like. See how quickly you can go through it. But the amount that we get back is generally between 80 and like 110% TT value, okay? That's from what I've seen. It's one person on a stream said that it's only 80%, which is not entirely true. So this one comes out to 46 PED 13. But if we have a look at the markup cost of the tokens have a really good markup of about 900%. So we can look at this and go, okay, so that's about 8 PED worth of stuff. And we actually spent just under, I think we spent just under 60. So we're pretty damn close to break even. Now, that might not sound all too impressive. It does vary, right? This is just one example of many. And of course, the further up you go, the more it costs. Like, this costs 60. This costs like 285 to do. So you're going to get more and more bang for your buck, and you're going to find more interesting stuff. You can get some unlimited items in here, some unlimited armor. You can get some weapons in here as well. I don't think you can get unlimited weapons. You can also find those pages as well that allow you to get a shop or a apartment or, you know, things like that. But the reason why I highly recommend it is because you can collect these up pretty quickly. As you can see, you can collect them up pretty quickly, and considering I only need 40k in order to get, like, the first apartment thing, which is actually what I'm aiming for, if I'm lucky, then, you know, I don't mind taking a little bit of a loss if it means that I might be able to get an apartment, you know, maybe in the next week or two. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, boys and girls. I didn't want to do too much by way of lore dump. I didn't want to do too much by way of showing you every little thing because we'd be here for hours. In fact, I did do this recording yesterday, but it was about an hour long. And I thought, you know what, let's consolidate a few things down, be a little bit more concise, of which I did. I showed you my three, in my opinion, the three main spots, the three main hubs, which is the Citadel, the Guardian Village, and the Nahar City, where the tower complex is. I showed you my favorite swanting spot. And obviously, Explore. There's a lot of different mobs to hunt. There are a lot of different biodomes to explore. You got a fiery volcano. You got like a hill-like land. You got a cold wasteland. You got a desert, and there's going to be various mobs everywhere for you to hunt. So do yourself a favor if you come to Toulan, explore. Get as many missions as you can. Do all the stuff. Read all the stories. Just have a lot of fun while you're at it. And that's going to be it for today, ladies and gents. Another one of these basic guide to a planet or whatever. The next one I'm thinking about doing is Next Island, because I think it's like right next door. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing Next Island, and I'm just going to be traveling around doing the circuit. But I am going to be on Toulan a lot in the future. So if you want to hang out in the live streams and stuff like that, you can come and hang out. I will be, the live stream that I'm going to be uploading from Twitch that I did last night, I'm basically running, I do these 3 here, and it's quite fun. It's quite fun. I get relatively close to break even, but like I said, I don't mind taking a little bit of a loss to get those tokens, so it evens itself out for me. But anyway, you all take care. Thank you, Belly, for sponsoring this video. It's not technically a sponsor, but it is. But yes, thank you, Belly, for helping out, supporting the channel, in all that sort of stuff. And just at the end of the video, I just want to say a quick shout out to my absolutely lovely couple of patrons over on Patreon, Devon327 and Bill Flatter, for your pledge of $5 a month. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps me out greatly, allows me to do more stuff, because hey, that's like, at the end of the day, what I get back is like 70 PED a month, so that can go towards a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, you all stay safe, take care. If you are on Toulan and you have extra information to add for all the kind folks at home, leave it in the comment section. I'm going to leave a lot of links to various sources, various threads, forum threads, various stuff, so you can get a good idea of what you're getting into once you're here on Toulan. Anyway, you all stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.